Welcome to episode 5 of After School with Mr. Van Huss. I have two very special guests with me today. They're a husband and wife country music duo. They have toured all across this country, opening shows for people like Alan Jackson, Eric Church, Kelly Clarkson, Reba, Little Big Town, the list goes on. They're not only phenomenal singer-songwriters, but they're also two of the very nicest people you will ever meet in your life. It is my great honor to welcome Stuart and Holly, the Springs.
Stuart and Holly, welcome to After School with Mr. Van Huss. It's so good to see you guys.
Good to see you too, Drew. Excited to be on here.
Oh, I'm so excited to have you. I know we've known each other for a few years now. I think we first met when I was doing some artist escort stuff with CMA at CMA Fest.
That's true.
You guys played my CMA Spotlight stage that I was the manager for. I guess
The best MC in the world. The
Yeah,
best
thank you
MC.
very much. I think that's about 2018 or so. It's been a few years.
I think it probably 2018.
Yeah, I would
It's
say
pre-COVID for
it
sure.
was before
Yeah.
COVID, so yeah.
So known each other for at least 5 years.
Exactly. So it's
Yeah.
been good, and you guys have always been awesome. You even came to our first Every Kid is a Hero Day event.
Yeah, that
years
was so much
ago.
fun.
So you guys have always been awesome to work with, and just great entertainers. And you were some of the first people I thought of when I thought I wanted to start this show. I was like, I got to get the Springs on here. They got to be
Oh,
on the
man.
show.
Well, thank you for having us. We appreciate it.
Yes.
So for anybody that might be watching that doesn't know about the Springs, can you just tell us what it is that you do?
Well, so we are a husband-wife. This is my wife, not my sister or something else. Although we are from Alabama.
Yeah. No.
I'm just kidding. No, so we are a husband-wife country music duo. We've been doing it together since 2014.
Yes.
And we've toured all over the United States, mostly opening up for artists, some headlining shows too, but been just doing music for quite a few years.
Yeah.
Country music, that is.
We actually met here doing music as well. So
Yeah, we met at the Bluebird Cafe, songwriter venue here in Nashville. Asked her to be my wife at the Bluebird Cafe too, so it's a special place to
never
us.
look back.
If that's not the most perfect like country music love story, like you need to sell the rights to like Hallmark Channel or something.
I know.
It's a great
Yeah.
story.
One of these days, I just want to be on a Hallmark Christmas movie.
Yeah.
So what influenced you guys to do what you do? What made you want to sing?
So I would say, like, for me, I grew up kind of in a music family. My dad always had instruments around. He grew up singing and playing in church. And so I think from like a young age, my dad kind of realized I was interested in it. And so they bought me karaoke machines and CDs that we would say. I don't know, kids may not know what karaoke machines are anymore, but that's what we got for Christmas every year. And yeah, I would just sing along. And I think they kind of realized like, oh, she can actually like kind of sing. And so they just encouraged me and kind of took me around to little coffee shops and places to, sing a song. I sang in a talent show at school. And so I would say for me, like my family, my dad and just my family probably kind of lifted me up and encouraged me the most to kind of do it. So
Stuart, what about you?
Okay, I didn't know if I get a turn.
Yeah.
So for me, I was influenced definitely by family, but I started singing in choirs through school. So for me, it started off with choirs, well, and at church too.
Mhm.
And I would take solos and realize how much I enjoyed it. But the biggest change for me was there used to be a TV show called Star Search. And I did a little Star Search competition when I was in ninth grade. So I always played sports growing up. Played football, soccer, basketball, all the different sports. And I actually got injured playing football, tore my ACL. And I decided that while I was injured, I was going to pick up a guitar and start singing a little bit. And I ended up doing the Star Search competition around that time and won the Star Search competition. My dad got our local newspaper to put a little article out about it. And then I became part of a local band through my high school, through the FFA. And in Alabama, they actually have a big band competition for FFA high schools to compete against each other. And so we each had bands, and I got in the FFA band and the FFA quartet through my school. And we won the state of Alabama and got to play on the national FFA stage when I was in high school. So it just kind of progressed from there that I just had encouragement from teachers in my family. So,
Yeah.
That's very, very cool. So before you guys got into your field of work, before you started singing, who were some of your heroes?
So I would say for me, I grew up in the 90s. So I was a big, Trisha fan. I loved Leanne Womack, Martina McBride, Leanne Rhymes was big in that time. So I would say they were definitely some of my,
Early influences.
yeah, early influences. Just listening to their music and singing once again to their karaoke songs was pretty much what I did.
Well, and same thing for me. I mean, I grew up in a time where we still carried around physical CDs, that would skip if the player got jarred a little bit. I mean, when I was, even younger, I had a Walkman that was my sister's that I had a few cassettes that I would play on and those kind of things. So, for me, it was Garth.
Yeah.
It was always Garth. I enjoyed watching videos of him, how he moved around on stage. And for me, I've always thought music is a lot more than just singing and writing songs. It's also entertaining. And I learned that from like Garth and Alan Jackson, George Strait, people that I grew up listening to. But then, later on, I really looked up to people that came out when I was in high school too, like Sam Hunt and others who have really progressed and been entertainers outside of just music people. So
Excellent. I listen to I'm a few years ahead of you all. But like all that 90s, that was like my high school and college years and everything. And that era of country music, I've talked to a couple of people with my show here that have talked about that. And it's almost hard to like put it into words, like what that era was like, because country music just boomed.
Just boomed.
Especially with Garth and all that.
Well, they were entertainers. Like I said, Travis Tritt, Brooks and Dunn, those are entertainers. They're not just singers, songwriters. They really knew how to put on a show, and that brought in people from rock and from pop to really love country music because they were entertaining like pop singers were and rock singers were. So
we're going to go back a little bit. I want you to tell me, what was high school like for you guys, and what further education did you do, if any, after high school?
So I'll go first on this.
Ladies first every time.
This one's easy for me. I enjoyed high school and I loved high school. I could have probably put a little bit more effort into school. I was a social butterfly. I loved to just make friends and have friends and, what was going to be the next thing we were doing, kind of thing. And I did well in school, but I just had this, dream of, I just wanted to do music. I just felt like I'm in school, I'm going to leave here. I move it to Nashville. Like I'm pursuing music. That's what I want to do. And so yeah, once I graduated, my parents pretty much gave me the option. They were like, look, you can we'll pay for you to go to college. You need to stay around here and we'll pay for you to go, or we'll move you to Nashville and, kind of get you settled in, let you get a job and work and you can pursue music, and I chose the second one. And so I graduated high school, I think in May of 2010, and I was in Nashville. I was 18. I think I was about to turn 18, and I moved in October of 2010, and I've been here ever since. So I always had the dream of moving to Nashville, and that's what I did. So,
and I met Holly the following January.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we met pretty early on after she moved here, but for me, high school, I was also very social. Weirdest combination in the world. I was prom king and also valedictorian. So I was social, but also a nerd. But it's hard to be in the closet
about homecoming queen, but I was not valedictorian.
Right. Very weird combination. So it's really hard to be a closet nerd when people know that you're a nerd. So I don't know. But anyways, I still am very nerdy. I love history. I love, learning things. I love reading. But I'd say that I, probably have been disappointed to some because I did not pursue being a doctor or a lawyer or,
Sarah originally went to school to be a doctor. That's what he was going.
So I was accepted into a pre-med program, had a scholarship. I did. So my deal with my parents was, if music continued to progress, we'll move you to Nashville, but you need to at least get your associate's degree. So I got my associate's degree in a year and a half after high school, and just wanted to push through that. Went ahead and got accepted to this pre-med program I was going to pursue. And about that time, my band that I originally was in, we had opened up for Alan Jackson and done some different shows and stuff with, my musical heroes. And my parents thought, well, that's good enough. And they said, well, if you can they put another prerequisite. They were like, if you can line up a gig in Nashville, we'll let you move there. And so I called around until I actually landed a gig at Tootsie's. I got in touch with the guy that booked Tootsie's, and and got a Tootsie's gig. And so I moved here CMA week 2010, the same year that Holly moved here.
Yeah.
And started working for Tootsie's is where I first started. So
Wow. What a first gig and the first week to be in town. It's like, overload
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was under 21, so so was all the guys in my band. So as soon as we got done playing, we had to leave. So
That's hilarious. They kick you out as soon as you're set.
Yeah.
they kick you out as soon as you're done. So
So did you guys have a favorite teacher or a coach or a mentor or anybody like that was kind of special for you that encouraged you along the way?
So I actually had, I wouldn't say I necessarily had maybe teachers, but as far as mentors, I had two really great mentors. We actually just met them for lunch a month or so ago. Donnie and Susan Grace, and they were actually over the NSAI part of Alabama, where I was from. And they had saw me, I guess, sing at a festival one weekend, and I had never written the song before. I was singing karaoke tracks at this festival, and they came up and introduced themselves, and they were like, "Hey, have you ever written a song?" And I was like, I really didn't even know what that was to write a song. I think I was, 15 or 16. And they were like, let's get together with you. We'd love to like kind of just introduce you to writing and stuff. So I would say they were probably two of my biggest mentors, because they honestly taught me how to write a song. And so to this day, I really respect them for that. And we wrote some pretty cool stuff when I was younger, and as a kid, writing a song is just the neatest thing ever. So,
well, because as a kid, you think these songs on the radio were always written by the artist that's singing them, and then you realize, oh no, they didn't do that.
Yeah.
But for me, similar thing. So I did the Star Search thing, and I came back home, got involved with the FFA, and without those FFA teachers and advisors, as we call them in the FFA, I would have never pursued music, because they taught me to learn how to perform outside of a choir. In a choir, you learn to sing proper and to enunciate and to, sing in Latin and different languages and stuff like that. And that's great. It's not what I do now. And they taught me really how to project and how to breathe properly, because all those things are important.
Yeah.
And also how to harmonize, because I was in a quartet with the FFA as well as the band. So that's been huge for us. And so Mike Harrelson and Mr. Alan Waters were my two big influences there through the FFA. And Mr. Waters just came to town, and we still hang out. We texted the other day. I have since become an adult started collecting vinyl, and I sent him a record that he and I had talked about, and we talked on the phone for 30 minutes. We're still very, very close. And had it not been for him, I would not have pursued music. And Mr. Harrelson and another teacher, Mr. Duke, who had also pursued music. They were probably my three biggest teacher influences. So,
all right, very cool. So you've got the ear of some high school and college kids and things like that. What is one life lesson that you would pass on to students today?
So, sorry, can I?
We could kind of probably both agree with what we would say. I mean, I know for me, like I would always say, like, be kind to people, because
And mine kind of ties into that.
Yeah.
So Holly and I have opened up for a lot of people over the years. And if I have the opportunity to sit and talk with them very long, I always say, like, what's the advice that you would give us?
Mm-hmm.
And my favorite one I've ever gotten, and I still think about this all the time.
We do. I feel like we do, as a team, we're like, okay, this is our motto.
That's like our motto. We talk about it. And,
yeah.
And it's Craig Morgan one time said, Stuart, you and Holly just need to always be nice to people on your way up, because you want them to be nice to you on your way down. And I feel like that is just such a great motto for anything you're doing in life, because music is like every other job. You have to know the right people. Well, you're not going to know the right people if you're not kind to people. And the person that you're being kind to right now could eventually be the head of whatever company, or they could be your boss one day. I mean, so you need to be kind to everybody. And that's just a great life lesson in general. I think we live in a world that's stressed out. And instead of stressing about little things, because everything is little, unless it's a major health issue for you or your family members, everything else is little. You can make more money. Work will come, if you work hard enough. But if you're kind to people, I think you get a lot more. You do get a lot more bees with honey. You do, and as the phrase goes, and I think that's been a big life lesson for us. So.
And it doesn't cost anything to be kind to people.
It's true.
So.
It's true.
Well, you guys are most certainly living that out, because I can tell you from even when I was doing like artist escort with CMA and things like that, it was a fight to who got to take the Springs to their booth at CMA Fest, because everybody knew that you all were the nicest people, and we all it was a race to see who could get Stuart and Holly first, because we knew you guys would be awesome. And you guys
we appreciate it.
Yeah.
And you all have just continued to be awesome. And for anybody watching, if you've never checked out the Springs, go see them at a live show, download their music, stream their music. You guys are incredible. I know just there's quite a few spring songs that just kind of pops up on my usual rotation, like on my phone and stuff. And,
Love that.
you guys are great, and I love everything you're doing, and I appreciate you. And thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yes.
And good luck, everybody, in the future. If we can ever do anything to encourage you, we run our own social media accounts. You can always reach out to us if you have questions about music business. Just look up the Springs and you can find us. So
awesome. Well, thank you guys for your time. I greatly appreciate it. And thank you very much for staying after school with Mr. Van Huss.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Hopefully see you guys soon.
See
Hope
you.
so.
Bye, Drew. Thank you.
Bye, guys.